close-up look at all your Concho Valley High School football. This is Inside the Game. Sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.
Well, howdy and happy Friday, everyone, and welcome back to KSAN's Inside the Game, where we take you inside the games here on the Concho Valley. I'm your host, Griff McClellan. Week 2 is nearly in the books as we speak, and tonight we have all the scores and highlights of your favorite teams. So without further ado, let's dive right in, starting with our lone Class 4A representative, the Lakeview Chiefs. Let's see how Lakeview performed tonight. Could the Chiefs match their dominant second-half performance in Week 1 was the question going into tonight. And the answer is, as of now, yes, they can. The Chiefs take control in tonight's game, leading 49-21 at last check. The latest chapter in this long-time rivalry goes to Lakeview. It seems right now the Chiefs are on the verge of defeating the Tigers for the first time since 2019. And how about this? The Chiefs are about to clinch their second win of the season, equaling last season's total already. We are, I guess safe to say, witnessing a new era of Lakeview football. Now time to check in on the TLCA. Eagles looking for its first win since 2023, visiting Cisco tonight. Opening kickoff, Cody Gale receives the ball, and watch this. He's got a burst of speed, a huge hole up the middle, and Gale takes it all the way for a touchdown. Lobos ahead 6-0 right out of the gate. Next possession, the Lobos go back to Gale on the sweep to the left side, and he's got the speed again. Make the corner 13-0. Cisco pouring it on early. The defense for Cisco was also impressive. They stopped that run play dead in its tracks. Final score 39-6. Cisco dominates at home. TLCA no match. And the third-ranked Wall Hawks looking to stay hot, taking on the Brownwood Lions, looking to avenge last year's Week 2 loss. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the highlights, folks. Wall took its first drive right down the field, and the drive is capped by Landon York, quarterback to Reed Robertson, the receiver. Nice play with a touchdown. And at second quarter, though, Wall moving the ball again. York gets it to Bryson McFarden. He stays in bounds and gets it to deep into Brownwood territory in the red zone. Wall threatening again. That leads to another York touchdown in the corner. As you see there, Robertson, great catch in the corner, 14-0 Hawks. And Wall kept it going from there, led 21-3 at halftime, en route to securing the 35-10 dub. Wall 2-0 to start the season. Now, Grape Creek taking on Reagan County. The Eagles had several things on their agenda tonight. First, rebound from a difficult Week 1 loss on its home field versus San Saba. And secondly, defeat the Owls for the first time since 2004. It's been 21 years. Tonight, Grape Creek is making a statement with a 38-16 lead at last check late in the fourth quarter. Now to this highly anticipated Concho Valley showdown. These teams come off very different outcomes in Week 1. Brady came off a 60-0 shutout win, while Mason looked to rebound from a rare 40-point loss. Tonight, this thriller goes to Brady, the final just in. Gutting out a 24-22 victory. The Bulldogs improved to 2-0, sending the Punchers into unfamiliar territory with no 0-2 start. And now up to 6A, our lone representative, the Central Bobcats taking the field at San Angelo Stadium for the first time in 2025. Sandy's opening drive after a touchback. Amarillo would take this one for 70 yards to the house to open the scoring. 7-0 Amarillo. The Bobcats, though, would answer back with a score of their own momentarily. Wait for it. Quarterback Micah Smith is going to connect with his receiver for the long touchdown pass here. Over the middle, we are tied at 7. San Angelo Stadium crowd loving what they're seeing, bringing the energy early on. After both teams' offenses stall for a bit, Sandies find themselves in scoring territory again in the red zone and would tack on another one, 14-7 visitors. Bobcats not going away, though, and will respond with a corner throw. Check out the toe drag in this one. The game is even at 14 apiece. We got ourselves a ball game, and right before half, Amarillo connects on a heartbreaker. Those 70-plus yards to go up 24-14 at half. And Amarillo ends up running away with this one. The final score, 41-21. Central falls to 0-2. That said, let's now send it out to Brian Cunningham, who is live inside San Angelo Stadium with some post-game insight. Brian, take it away.
Good evening. We are live from San Angelo Stadium. I'm Brian Cunningham, and we just put the bow on Week 2. Central versus Amarillo just wrapped up. I can't even get it out. I'm so excited to give you guys just a quick rundown of what happened. What we saw was a back-and-forth affair. It was not stopped due to rain, even though the rain did come and go. We saw a back-and-forth affair. Amarillo struck first. The Bobcats would respond, and then you would see Amarillo again, what you thought would be the final score of the half, but it wasn't. Bobcats would respond again with a toe-tap touchdown, and then would give up a heartbreaker 80-yard touchdown to go into half, 24-14, but then the Bobcats would come out in the second half, and according to Mark Smith, I caught up with him after the game, it's just the third down defense and the run defense were really what the Bobcats struggled with today. They just couldn't seem to get off the field, just like that play to end the first half, that 80-yard touchdown. It's just one of the things that they're going to be working on as they get ready for their upcoming contest next week in Week 3 when they have Abilene Cooper coming to town as the Bobcats stay home. Again, from San Angelo Stadium, everybody's finally cleared out of the stadium. Good night to you guys again from San Angelo Stadium. I'm Brian Cunningham. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Brian. And with that, we're going to call our first timeout of the night. But when we return, we'll have all scores and highlights among Class 2A schools in the Concho Valley, so stay tuned. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to KSAN's Inside the Game Week 2 edition. As promised, let's now take a look at tonight's Class 2A scores and highlights, starting with the Cristobal Cougars. The Cristobal Cougars kick off their home opener, welcoming Ballinger to town at Jack Party Stadium. Cougars talking things over in the huddle early first quarter with Bearcats already up 7-0. Running back Pearson Nord punches it across for a 1-yard touchdown, 13-0 visitors. The Cougars come up with a big response, though, blocking the PAT. That keeps it 13-0 Ballinger with just over 6 seconds left in the first quarter. So a little momentum going Cristobal's way. But second quarter action now, Cristobal throws a deep ball near the end zone, but it falls incomplete. Not quite there. Cougars knocking on the door, still flirting with a touchdown pass here, but the receiver just can't quite haul it in. Good effort, though. Diving effort near the pylon. Ballinger hooks up on a nice pass completion into the red zone here, though, at the Cougars' 19-yard line. Down, Ballinger still marching on. Later in the second quarter, Cristobal's pass gets broken up, though. Tough first half for the Cougars. Ballinger led 13-0 at the break, and that's all they need, though, in this tight, low-scoring 13-6 win. Cougars fall to 0-2. And the Sonora Broncos also kick off their home opener, coming off a pretty amazing and emphatic, I guess you can call it, shutout win in week 1. We go to the first quarter, scoreless still, but Sonora driving as Aaron Segura goes high down the sideline, and Jaden Wellborn comes down with it. What a play. That would lead to Segura going deep again, this time to Angel Diaz, who just has to run underneath the dime. Makes it 6-0 Broncos. The home crowd loving what they're seeing early on. But the Johnson City Eagles would get rolling as look, check out this end around play here. Heston Hohenberger would find some room on the sideline on this huge gain before being pushed out of bounds. And then the Eagles would go to the air now as Wyatt Lorenzen would strike Brady a run that would eventually lead to 7 for the Eagles to make it 7-6. Johnson City now takes the lead. Defense was the name of the first half, with Johnson City up 7-6 on Sonora, and the offense eventually would get going. Just not for Sonora, though, as the Eagles fly away with this one, winning a pretty low-scoring 22-12 win. And now back to my matchup of the week. As our meteorologist Chase Jones said earlier, the El Dorado Eagles and Ozona Lions go head-to-head in this all-Concho Valley clash. Both teams did come off impressive Week 1 victories, with El Dorado shutting down Cristobal, while Ozona dismantled McCamey on the ground. We'll talk about dismantling tonight. It was all Ozona. Just check out that scoreboard. Yes, that is correct. The Lions defend its home field with a statement victory. Final score 76-29. Head coach Jason Pitts enjoys a nice 2-0 start to his Ozona tenure. Miles and Sterling City going head-to-head in another all-Concho Valley showdown. Both squads came off disappointing Week 1 performances, each losing by 40+, meaning somebody was inevitably set to come out on top tonight. And that team is Miles, pitching a shutout, winning 20-0, improving to 1-1, while Sterling City's woes continue. Junction continuing its pursuit of dominance dating back to last season. Its magical season, we should say, in 2024. Now tonight facing San Saba. Head coach Scott Freeman and the Eagles face their first true road test of 2025. And tonight's result goes to, you guessed it, Junction. The Eagles continue to soar, flying away with the 20-6 low-scoring victory. Now we're going to call our second time out of the evening, but stick around because we'll be back with tons of six-man scores and highlights right after this. All right, welcome back to KSAN's Inside the Game Week 2 edition. Without further ado, let's catch you up on tonight's Class 1A or six-man highlights and scores as promised. Starting with the Robert Lee Steers hosting Garden City at Griffith Stadium. I like the name of that stadium. Looking to stay in the win column after a dominant Week 1 performance. And right away, touchdown run, Robert Lee. Wyatt Bosworth opens the scoring. Steers picking up right where they left off. Steers now going the other way with a fumble recovery and a touchdown. The defense also makes an impact in this one. Great all-around effort shown by the Steers. Robert Lee responds to pouring it on. Brenner Sherwood takes it in with this long touchdown run, outrunning the entire Bearcats defense. And now how about special teams trickery? Give it a second for the Robert Lee point after try. The pitch back and send off to Levi Bailey converts this one. What a play call. Bold and gutsy, I call that. Final score, Robert Lee 62, Garden City 14. Now time to check in on the third-ranked Water Valley Wildcats taking on a tough Hernley Cardinals squad for the second straight year. The Cats came in hungry and ready to pounce following last year's defeat at the hands of the Cardinals. Tonight, much different result. Final score 56-8. Wildcats dominate, I guess that's an understatement, and improved to 2-0. Now looking at the Erie County Hornets taking on the Rankin Red Devils. These schools colliding for the 18th time ever. Rankin took care of business easily last year, cruising past Erie County on the road 60-12. This time around, nothing new. The Red Devils break the Hornets' hearts again with an emphatic 48-0 shutout win. Verabas desperately trying to return to the win column, dating back to last year's late season meltdown and collapse, whatever you want to call it, and it's shutout at Zephyr just 1 week ago. Tonight, the Falcons' woes continue, losing by the identical score of last week's game versus Zephyr. That is 46-0. The Falcons have yet to score this season and hope to fix things in week 3. Now, the Paint Rock Indians still in search of their first win in 2 seasons, hosting Lorain. Paint Rock up now. The Indians are jumping into week 2, hoping for a better result than week 1's dismal loss. Paint Rock starts the scoring off with an outside run to hit pay dirt, but would miss the ensuing PAT. The Lorain gets on the board next. In this would turn out to be a pretty high-octane offense thriller. A nice outside run as well, cuts up the field and over the line. Bulldogs would also miss the ensuing PAT, so we're tied. Another Paint Rock possession. The toss gets back. A man in trouble, though, tries to send it away, but it gets picked off by the Bulldogs there and goes the other way. Bulldogs would make the PAT this time and go up 1 score. Visitors on top. Now, Paint Rock found themselves in a dogfight tonight, but end up winning this one 51-46, the final, in a heavyweight fight. Paint Rock gets its first win since 2003 and will have a lot to celebrate tonight. Menard Yellow Jackets taking on Rochelle Hornets. Certainly tons of buzz surrounding this matchup. These teams had polarizing week 1 results, with Menard coming off a 32-point win and Rochelle seeking a bounce-back outing after a 49-point loss. Tonight, Menard leads 23-16 at last check. The Eden Bulldogs taking on the Sydney Eagles. Both teams look to keep good going after securing week 1 dubs and make that 2 in a row for the Bulldogs to start their 2025 campaign, leaving town with the 28-14 victory and 2-0 start to 2025. The Blackwell Hornets take their home field for the first time this season, looking to bounce back from a monstrous 72-24 week 1 loss. Tonight, the nightmare unfortunately continues for the Hornets. The red-hot Zephyr Bulldogs sting the Hornets 45-0. Back-to-back shutout wins for Zephyr this season. They get it done via mercy rule for the 2nd straight week, getting all its damage done in the first half. And finally, brought home for the 2nd straight week. This time the Longhorns hosting Rule. First quarter, 4:55 to go. No score. End around play goes to Raymond Williams. Keep an eye on him, who breaks free down the sideline, and he struts across for 6. 6-0 Bront. Next drive, Rule going for it on 4th and long, deep in its own territory, but that's going nowhere. Caden McClure with the stop behind the line of scrimmage for a huge loss there, and that perfectly sets up another Bront touchdown. Play action, Gage Withrow finds Williams again in the end zone, wide open. 4-0 Longhorns. 2nd quarter now, Horns driving again, similar play call and identical result. Williams scores his 3rd touchdown of the night, putting Bront up big, 22-0, and that's all she wrote. Final score, Bront Longhorns put up 50, Rule Bobcats nothing, again via mercy rule. And with that, we're going to take our 3rd and final timeout, but don't leave yet, because coming up next, our Trivia Challenge, Week 2 headlines, plus we'll look ahead to Week 3. You don't want to miss this, so stay tuned. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for staying with us tonight. But before we conclude tonight's show, we have one more segment. Of course, let's revisit our annual high school football trivia challenge. And of course, with football season comes our annual Concho Valley High School Football Trivia Challenge. To enter these sweepstakes, simply visit our website. That is ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Click the contest tab above and submit your answers each week for your chance to win the grand prize, which is, in case you wondered, a $100 HEB gift card. Weekly winners are announced every Sunday, each of whom receive an automatic bid for the final drawing. The grand prize winner will be announced at the end of the season, with a date to be determined in mid-November. And of course, looking at tonight's question, which Concho Valley school is Junction's most common opponent in program history with 75 all-time meetings? Is it A, Sonora, B, Miles, C, Mason, or D, Wall? Remember again to visit our website to submit your answer. Now to recap Week 2, in case you're just now tuning in, Amarillo takes care of business on the road, winning 41-21, sending the Bobcats to an 0-2 start. Lakeview handles Snyder at last check, up big, 49-21 on the road. Lakeview is on the cusp of already matching last season's win total with 2 this year. The Chiefs off to an impressive start with a high-flying offense. And up next, 3rd-ranked Wall dethrones Brownwood on the road, avenging last season's loss with a pretty dominant 35-10 victory. And Brady squeaks past Mason at the Puncher Dome with a tight 24-22 victory. Brady improves to 2-0 on the road, while Mason finds itself in unfamiliar territory, starting 0-2. And finally, Ozona blows out El Dorado 76-29. Still can't get over that. Showing absolutely no mercy in this all-Concho Valley matchup. Ozona has now scored 141 points in its first 2 games combined to open the new season. Talking about domination and now looking ahead to week 3, of course, Central stays in San Angelo next Friday, still searching for its first win, welcoming Abilene Cooper to town. And Red Hot Lakeview stays on the road, traveling to face the Lamesa Tornadoes, looking for its 3rd straight win to open the year. 3rd-ranked Wall travels to face longtime rival Jim Ned, looking to continue soaring, flying high and staying undefeated. Ozona and Brady collide in this pretty epic all-Concho Valley battle. In fact, a battle of unbeatens, forming quite the compelling matchup. And to finish it off tonight, another all-Concho Valley matchup featuring Sonora and El Dorado. Both teams are 1-1, looking to bounce back from tough losses tonight. And that's all tonight for Inside the Game Week 2 edition. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to tune in again next week. But until then, have a good night, Concho Valley.
Catering for Inside the Game is provided by Chick-fil-A. Inside the Game is sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.